Good morning. I'm getting my green juice ready to go. I have a very busy day today. I have 2 colors, a new haircut, and then I believe I might be doing my friend's hair after work. We'll see. But I've been like jonesing to do some proper blonde highlights, so I wouldn't be mad at it.
A day in the salon for me starts the same every time. I am not one to enjoy cleaning up my station at the end of the day, so outside of doing the regular cleaning things to make it easier on the housekeepers that come in at night, I normally get to the salon at least 30 minutes before my first guest, just because I like having like peaceful time when I first get there to set up my station and have everything ready to go. I set up each color guest at the beginning of my day through their profile in Vish with reloading the same color that they got last time. We always have the availability to update it depending on what exactly they want to do. But Vish is the perfect system for logging everything that you use on your guest, and then it is ready for you the next time they come in. If you did a 20-gram highlight on them and only used 15 grams of that, next time they come in for that service, Vish automatically updates the amount, so you're never over mixing anything either and wasting color. I have 2 blondes sitting in my chair today. The first one is a repeat guest. I've done her a dozen times. We like to do a bright blonde. This time she came in wanting more of the blonde. We like how light we get it, but we just like the idea of seeing more blonde mixed in with her natural, and we're okay with the idea of there being a little bit more of a harsher line of demarcation as it grows out, because honestly I just think it looks really cute still, like when you have a little bit of root going, especially with the super sharp blunt bob that she has. It's super cute. In the past I did a mix of micro slices and kind of medium weaves. This, I'm micro slicing everything. I'm putting more highlights closer together, but I'm keeping them really, really tiny. She has fine hair, so any line that we put in is going to show through super clearly. So I'd so much rather take a million tiny foils than 2 big chunky ones. We still want to see the blonde, but we don't want to see any kind of streaks, any harsh dimension going throughout. This is a sectioning I do on all of my partials. When I'm doing a partial, I'm telling you it is a partial. I'm queen of leaving dimension in the back of the head and underneath the occipital. No one needs to be highlighted there, especially in a bob. Like, are you putting your hair in little pigtails? No, I do not need to be highlighting all of that. I don't love the look of over highlighting blondes, and it's easier on your hair. It's quicker for your guests in the salon. And I love the end result. You're gonna see at the end how her natural pops through, and it makes your blondes look lighter when they have dimension and something to kind of contrast against underneath. I'm using a lightener with 12 volume on this guest today. Her natural color is really, really light. We do not have to push it super far to get to where we're wanting. And especially because I'm going to be taking a little bit longer today than I have in the past on her hair, because I'm going to be putting more foils in and packing them in. They're going to be extra insulated as well. So I don't want to use something that's going to move too fast. We're starting off with 12 volume. I remix a little bit of 20 volume towards the end. But for cases like this with fine, fragile, delicate hair, I would so much rather have my guest have to sit for a little bit than run the risk of over-processing any of their hair and having to pull out foils from underneath, especially when they're so small and intricate like this. I really don't want to run the risk of flipping anything up and having anything bleed onto other hair. Something I've been leaning into a lot lately in the salon is using my guests' flexibility and motion. I'm far enough into my career that I do not want to break my back bending over people and being scared that, like, oh my God, my knee's touching them. Is that weird? Is that okay? Absolutely have your guests turn their head. They have to turn their head to the left for like 5 minutes, and it makes your job a million times easier, and it makes their hair come out better too. You're able to get up in there. I sectioned my guest's hair today on a mohawk sectioning. I like doing recession to recession so that regardless of where they flip their hair, if they part it down the center, wherever it goes, it is equal on both sides. This is my favorite sectioning to do for a partial, especially for something like this when we're trying to pack it in, because you can just blast through so much square footage all at once. I like using the YS Park extra long tail comb as well. You'll see that I'm making a point to start the tension of pulling the hair down into the highlight and then putting the foil onto the root super, super far over. And I'm able to cover more square footage because this tail comb has an extra long tail, so that I'm able to maintain tension everywhere. The same combs I've used since cosmetology school. I cannot recommend them enough. They're super lightweight, indestructible. I have a white one and a black one. I have different color combs for cutting and foiling, because especially with cutting, I like to use a comb that contrasts my guest's hair. Like if they have blonde hair, I'll use a black comb, or dark hair, I'll use a white comb, so that you can see exactly where you're cutting and you don't get lost when you're finding your guide. A question I get a lot when foiling is asking why I do the little tap, tap, tap on the top of the foil after I put the foil in before I paint the lightener on. When I'm using foils, regardless of how tight you are, the tension is when you're pulling that hair down to get the foil up onto the scalp, there's always a little ridge from where your comb is. Notice it next time you're foiling. I like pushing back on that ridge to extra smooth the foil out at the scalp so you can get as close as humanly possible. My guests love their foil work because they say when they leave it looks like their blonde is growing out of their head, and that is how you do it. One of those little finishing touches that make your guests love you and want to come back to you because they get an extra week or two just based on how close you get to their scalp when they leave the salon. There are so many misconceptions when it comes to highlighting fine hair. I see a lot of hairstylists get caught up in the idea of being able to like throw 4 foils in and be done, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. You still have to be super particular with fine hair because just like cutting fine hair, it shows every single line. A lot of our fine-haired girlies are natural blondes as well, so it's so important where you keep depth and where you add the pops of lightness. I start foiling in the front of my guest's head 99% of the time because I'd so much rather those foils be sitting a little longer, get a little brighter, and be able to control the lightness of those pieces more than anything else. That's the most important part. That's what your guest sees first. When I'm done with foiling, I always make a point to fold the foils away from my guest's face, and then it is back to Vish. I remeasure everything after I'm done, and then it logs it in the system for next time.
These are our tickets that we get every single morning from front desk, basically having little profiles for every client that we're seeing that day. I like to figure out how long it's been since last time I saw my guest and write it back down here. This is what front desk looks at to schedule their next one, write down what their next appointment's going to be for, so like haircut, highlight, etc., when the next time I want to see them is, and then up here I write a little note for myself, reminding myself of what products I recommend to them. So if I'm talking to them about something during the appointment, I can write it on here, so when I take them up front, I can say, oh my god, Sarah, you need to try this. I'm using a combination of 9P and 9VG because we were using 10s for a while and we liked it, but I feel like we weren't getting enough like deposit, like color payoff, so I knocked her down to a 9 even though she's super light. My mentality for using these two is that they're both pearlescent. Like a P is the pearl, of course, but I want something that's kind of shimmery and almost champagne-y, but still on the ashy side of things. So 9P and 9VG is where her hair likes to live.
This is a prime example of a foil that is ready and a foil that needs 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, it's almost done. Leave it alone, walk away from it. These are my favorite videos, is foil pulls in the shampoo bowl, and I love realizing that I really just rip those things out and it's not aesthetic at all. That foil shot in the shampoo bowl looks really scary, but it's trust the process, have faith in your sectioning, your foiling. After we cut her hair on this day, we absolutely went back and went a little shorter because you know me, a bob can never be short enough. It can never be C-word enough. Using my Babyliss 1 1/4 inch Marcel iron, shout out to Marcel irons. I can never use anything else behind the chair. I learned how to use it in cosmetology school. And when that Babyliss extra long curling iron was popular, I got one. Guys, I could not for the life of me get used to it. I need a Marcel. I feel like I have the most control with a Marcel, and I will be using this till the day I die. You can pry it out of my cold dead hands. This is a prime example of leaving that depth underneath, getting that pop of the blonde against everything. And look at how stinking cute that is. Like, she's blonde and she didn't need a trillion foils in her head. Oh my god, I love. My second guest of the day was new to me, and I absolutely love editing and adjusting existing blondes. This is like my favorite thing in the world. I discovered through our consultation that she liked her blonde. She felt like the tone had faded since she last had it done, and she wasn't crazy about how much contrast she had in there. It's cute, it's beachy, you know it's cuter getting what you want. A lot of things can be cute, but when they're not what we asked for, we're not obsessed with them. Her goals were to kind of diffuse the contrast that we saw throughout, cool down the tone, and then just bring her overall blonde higher up. When I was going through her head, I noticed we had some pockets of depth that I love maintaining depth, but it just seemed too dark. So my foils were not consistent all over her head because I was needing to adjust and tweak the existing blonde that she already had. I use these Framar Dreamweaver combs all the time. When it comes to coloring hair, I'm such a perfectionist and I'm so analytical that this is like the surefire way to get every foil exactly how I want. I still freehand weave things sometimes, but I love these combs. I use them all the time. I do not even grab the hair like how they're intended to be used, but it doesn't matter. I found a way that works for me and I love it. My guest has a fantastic base for what she's wanting. I'm maintaining a lot of the depth. I'm doing just a partial on her to kind of replace everything that she has on her head right now. And that required a few hairline foils along the bottom. I asked her my magical question of how often do you pull your hair up? Where do you wear it on your head when you pull it up? And she mentioned that she doesn't really care about seeing blonde there on the hairline on the bottom because she never sees it. I placed a few there just because depending on my guest's length, those foils matter when you pull the hair forward because sometimes you have like the dark hole on the sides of their neck when they pull their hair forward, which can be really cute, but I wanted to just break up the depth that she had a longer hairline on the bottom. As I'm going up the sides of her head, I'm pivoting using the recession along the hairline as the point I'm pivoting against. I love this to cover ground without having to overfoil anything. It makes that recession kind of a high point and kind of the lightest piece on the sides, which I love. Even when my guests wear their hair in the center, that pivotal point kind of just creates like an extra pop of lightness underneath everything. Even when you pull your hair back, it reflects really beautifully. I get a lot of questions on how do I structure my day around breaks and if I schedule myself a lunch, mostly from guests, which it is so sweet for them to be concerned about that because also I imagine that they don't want a hungry, frail person about to faint doing their hair. But when I'm doing color, I do not schedule in a lunch for myself. It is of the utmost importance to be taking breaks and sitting down and drinking water and having time for yourself throughout your day. But when I'm doing something like color, I'll apply the color and then I have 20-30 minutes processing time and that's when I take my breaks. If I'm doing a haircut only day where it's back to back and no really processing time, I will absolutely make time for myself to sit down and take a breather. But color days, it's kind of built in. So this day, I think it was literally a matter of stealing everyone's snacks from the break room while each of these guests processed. Even though I am planning to shadow root this guest to melt her natural down and soften the new growth line a little bit, I'm foiling it like I would foil any other highlight in the entire world. There have been times where I've intended to do a shadow root and then one thing leads to another and we decide against it in the shampoo bowl. If I were to haphazardly place the foils like a half an inch away from the root, I wouldn't have the flexibility to do that as the service progresses. It's also just a matter of looking out for yourself in the future. Placing clean highlights makes it so much easier for the next service. As I'm going up the sides, I'm taking horizontal sectioning because I want to have kind of panels of blonde going throughout, breaking up those dark pieces. And as I'm going up the side of the head, you will notice these pieces that I'm taking right off her part are really dark. Like it seems like there's panels of darkness throughout, which I do sometimes when I like to create contrast and have like ribbons of blonde versus something super blended, but this was just too solid. I'm highlighting through these kind of all the way through to break it up while still maintaining some depth there. I'm staying pretty consistent with my sectioning and with my pickups while I go up the sides here, but you'll see some customizations need to happen. Like this section right on her part was almost solid blonde. It does not need to be solid blonde. I'm not going to be slicing that again. I'm still just dividing everything up and retouching what's already there. With all the highlights that we put in before, this is going to blend all together seamlessly.
Shadow root, I'm trying to match her natural as close as possible. I feel like she's a half a shade below a 7, but I'm just going to do a 7 because I'm okay with a little luminosity at the root. And then I'm doing 9N, 10NW. She needs the brown to tan base for like some depth and for it to look like blonde instead of just like kind of raw feeling. Full 20 for both of them. I'm applying them in the chair just because she has so much hair and I kind of want to melt the top down a good little bit. So I feel like I'll just have more control in the chair.
I make the decision on where I'm going to tone and how I'm going to tone my guests really case by case basis. My guest earlier, it's really easy for me to work gloss toner through her whole entire head in the shampoo bowl, apply everything globally, and then set her up with a shampoo cap for processing time. This guest, I wanted the most control. I wanted to see every single thing I was doing. I have the best lighting in my chair as well. So I took her back to the chair to melt everything down. These Framar brushes with the pintail on the end, you need to be using these and nothing else for shadow rooting. They get through hair so much easier. They're not tugging your guests. They're not pulling on their scalp, anything. It is life-changing using these brushes. As I'm going up the sides of the head, I'm being super careful not to dip the ends in that shadow root. Like, look at how I'm placing the hair over my hand to intentionally not dip anything and mix formulas. I do bowl and brush for the shadow root, and I still use a bottle for the ends. I love a brush through when we're looking for a color melt situation. Being in the chair allows me the ability to see every little spot as well, like going back and reapplying the shadow root in that part and melting everything through visually. She has the most beautiful natural wavy curly hair, but we blew it out for today because, hi, it's a treat and you don't have to be the one to do it. So why wouldn't you want to blow out? We were thrilled with how this came out. This is a great first session, getting us back on track to exactly what we're wanting to achieve. Soft, blended, brighter, and it's gonna grow out really, really beautifully, really easy for her. I'm so dead. My last guest of the day was this stunning haircut done completely using a straight razor before I headed to my friend's house to do her hair. Hello.
Hey vlog!
What would you like to do today?
Okay. I love how you did it, but now I just feel like it grew out. I would say like we don't even have to go that far
That's
back.
what I'm thinking. I want to do
But,
like
like,
two
literally
in
just,
the
like,
front.
Yeah, just like
Probably maybe
just the two.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yay, do you have a bowl for me?
So yeah, we're gonna do my hair.
This cup is so cute.
It's a dessert cup from the 99-cent store.
It's perfect. Smells good. You smell?
No. It looks like cement. Putting cement on my hair. Oh, I should put two
Wait, what is he ordering?
barbecue hot wings. You want them or not?
Yeah, I do.
So 3 orders.
Watch all that food. Okay,
Hi, can I place an order for pickup, please? And that will be it.
Alright. Give me about 15 minutes or so.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank
so
you.
funny because literally we will order like food for a family of 12 and like just give us about 15 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so funny because you're like, curry soup level 0, no spice, sub chicken
So
for tofu.
customized.
And
Awesome.
he's like, okay. Do you want to get a slice of chocolate cake for us to all share?
Yes. I'll pay for it. Yes. Let me get on the other side of your head. Pardon? I gotta get my balance real quick. Are you telling every single client about heated rivalry?
Oh my god. What's those?
Those are going into foil.
They're gonna be gone tomorrow.
Girl, this foil's out of your head now. You gotta stop moving.
Sorry. I literally got this at CVS, so
I don't care.
okay.
This is the proper form, by the way. See y'all? That's what we're looking for. When the hair is absolutely transparent see-through, that's when it's done.
Awesome.
Wow.
Oh my god, that looks perfect.
She's blonde. Y'all think that's done?
Let me know in the comments below if you think this is done.
It's like green right there.
Green?
You know, I'm just kidding. The hair is done. We just rinsed it and we got Vin Loy.
Vin Loy Tofu, Cerritos, California.
Let's get Vietnamese food. Vin Loy, chocolate cake, vegan and delicious. That's crazy. That is my day. Hair, and more hair. I'm now in New York filming an outro for this. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time. Bye.